Hey, everybody, welcome to the TAOT pod. This is PJ Jensen, one of the co-founders of the most electrifying token to ever hit the market. We are America only, no middle, no divide, no left, no right. And we have the man, my co-founder, my partner, Justin Valo on the call, on the podcast today. Justin, welcome to the pod.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
I should say welcome to your podcast.
Ours.
Well, it's ours. And I was thinking about what my angle was going to be. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I get to interview my partner in TAOT. And this is kind of a really cool thing because I'm interviewing a legend in cryptocurrency because your background in crypto goes back. You're going to tell your background. I don't want to I know the dates, but you're OG on Ethereum, OG on Bitcoin as far as the development and the code. What you've done for us at TAOT is legendary. We're going to talk about not only on Coinbase and coin market cap in a record time, but I think it's important for people to get to know who you are because the core of what we do and having the ability to trade on Coinbase and be on most major exchanges in the world right now because of your background is vital. We'll talk about the marketing, the marriage that you and I have that we're super excited about. But again, who is Justin Valo?
I'm from New York. I was, really into computers at a really young age. I was kind of antisocial. Got into computers. My dad worked for sales for GE, and brought a computer home in the '80s. And it was like my first love. I was just like, what is this thing? Like, I think the first game I played was like I can't even remember the name of it. It was really bad. It was really bad graphics. It was called Load Runner. It's called Load Runner.
Oh, Load Runner, yeah.
Yeah, this little guy walking and like you'd zap a spot and it would make a little hole in front of you and you could go down to the next level. But I learned how to use it because you kind of had to look. The games didn't you didn't press a button and the game loaded. You had to actually do commands to get the game to run. And it just kind of sucked me in. It was I love how complicated everything was, which sounds crazy, but right. I loved how complicated it was. It was you had to learn all these commands to get things to work, and the more time I spent on it, the more I got into it. And eventually, I got into a gifted school, and my whole curriculum was just circuitry and computers. And wow. At a very young age, I started doing that. Maybe by the time I was 10, I was writing software.
Wow!
And I just really got into it.
Prodigy,
sucked in.
Yeah. So listen. So with that said, so you have your entree into with your dad working for GE. You get on the keyboard. You start hacking away, learning code. How did you get into cryptocurrency?
A buddy told me about it really early on. I think it was 2010. He was like, "Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin?" And I was like, "No, what is that?" And he's like, "Well, it's basically cryptographic, money. You can use your CPU to solve math that gets spit out that we call work. This software will spit out work to your CPU, and you process it, and you get rewarded." And I looked into it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool idea. I like the idea." And I read the white paper by Satoshi. And I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is everything I've been waiting for. It was banks are ruining the economy, which is just a fact. I mean, that's everywhere worldwide, why aren't people, holding their own funds? Why don't we have more control over our money? Who's the Federal Reserve? Oh, it's a private bank. And then, you fall down all these rabbit holes all at the same time. And you're like, oh, this is insane. Banks are doing this lending where they just create money out of thin air and give it to people and then charge interest on it, which sounds really unsustainable. And it's you don't have to be a financial expert. When you explain how modern banking works, you don't have to be a financial expert to know that this doesn't sound very sustainable or doesn't sound very concrete. You're creating money out of thin air and then charging interest on it. How does that work? Where does the interest come from? Where, you have all these questions that have no answers. And Bitcoin seemed like a really cool solution to that. And so, cryptocurrency.
Yeah, well, I just want to, for the people that don't know what Justin's referring to in terms of who Satoshi is supposedly, quote unquote, the founder of and the inventor of Bitcoin. So the fact that you read his white paper and you found it interesting and just proves that you are from another planet. I mean, you operate at a different level. And that's what I love about you. Your work ethic second to none. So now you're into Bitcoin. You're seeing the coding, and then so just take us through the evolution because when you are Googled, and I want everyone to Google Justin Valo, you're going to see a $4.5 billion market cap that he created under the ownership that he started. Verge Currency, a company he starts and still owns. So yeah. Let's take us from the Bitcoin Satoshi white paper to that.
So I was reading the white paper. I absolutely fell in love. I mean, I thought it was really cool. You could tell that Satoshi was from the UK. He had a lot of he'd say oh bloody Like you'd have a lot of little things given away, but really cool paper. It really sucked me in. It was like, yeah, people need to be empowered more, through currency, and if we can find a way to circumvent the powers that be that are kind of creating this unsustainable industry, um, we could kind of circumvent money and kind of reinvent how money works. There's something there to that, and it really interested me. um, and I'd always really been into politics yeah, and not any particular party, just politics in general, and policies. And yeah, I just thought it was really cool how it worked. I started a mining pool right away. I set up a site basically where you could mine Bitcoin, and Litecoin had just come out. Dogecoin had just come out. This is all back in 2011 or 12.
Hmm.
I was adding new projects as they came along. So when Litecoin came out, I added that. When Dogecoin came out, I added that. And I just thought it was really cool. Basically, as a mining pool operator, which is what I was at the time, I started learning the code really well because you actually have to compile, Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Litecoin and, on these servers and run them and then connect them to the pools that people can mine. So I learned how the software worked, pretty quickly on. I mean, by the time 2011 was around, I was already really good at working with the Bitcoin code, and Litecoin and Dogecoin were really no problem for me. Um, then we started getting this wave. Coins started coming out every week, and they were just garbage. And, it's just clones one after another. Nobody knew who was making them. Kind of like, but here's the thing: Bitcoin was getting solid development work. People were actually working behind it. These other projects were just kind of launching a project, and there was no work happening. There was no roadmap. There was nobody talking about what's going to happen with it. So I decided to launch my own. I was kind of, I knew how the code worked and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to try to make a project. I'm going to make a cryptocurrency that basically has the ideology that I think would be the best way to do it, and what the other people in the community that I see think are the best way to do it. And I'm not going to disappear. I'm just going to keep doing it. And of course, when I launched 2014. Right off the bat, I had people saying, "Oh, don't mind this coin. This guy's going to walk away. We have no idea who he is." And I did launch it
This is
anonymously at
Verge,
first.
right? This is
Yeah,
Verge.
this is Verge. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
did launch it anonymously at first because I was mostly out of just fear of repercussions from like the government. I was like, what is
Sure.
what's going to happen to me? Am I going to get in trouble for making my own money? Is this even legal? I don't know what's going on, but I'm still I got that rebellious spirit, so I'm going to do it. But I started, of course, having people saying, "Oh, this guy's going to walk away. This guy's going to run away." But by 2015 or 16, we'll never see this guy again. And of course, here I am, 12 years later. But yeah, it exploded. I made a currency that I thought was fair, and a lot of people liked it, especially the people that were already in the community that I knew. Um, Made a deal with a really large adult online site called MindGeek, who owns most adult sites on the internet. And they wanted to integrate my software into their websites, for everyday currency use, digital currency.
Hmm.
And it just exploded. I mean, it went from being worth a thousandth of a cent to 30 something cents.
Wow.
Still holds the largest record for a gain in any cryptocurrency ever. It was 65,000% since it launched. And
65,000%. I didn't even know that
yeah,
was possible.
yeah, I didn't either, and I still honestly, it's still kind of crazy to me. But yeah, so I've been in the space a long time. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really cool people. I've spoken with Vitalik before when he launched Ethereum. Um, I've got to meet a lot of really cool people, and I've got to meet everybody in the industry at all the exchanges and the swaps, and just any kind of cryptocurrency service you could think of. I've gotten to meet the people behind them, and I have an understanding of how they all work. I've just I live and breathe cryptocurrency. I love it. When the market's up and everybody is smiling, I'm usually nose down working, and when everybody's freaking out and panicking when the market's down, I'm still nose down working, because I know that these are just the cycles of how it works. And
Sure.
just as long as I keep my nose down and I stay working, everything's going to work out. And that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, well, you're again. That's the leverage of experience, and
Yeah.
that's not just in business. That's in life. So,
Yep.
obviously the great aspect about being in partners with you with TAOT is what you're talking about, your background, your experience. I love being able to drop your name in tight circles at a cryptocurrency, because once I drop your name or refer to my partner Justin Valo, the landscape or the tone of the conversation changes immediately. Like if someone's trying to screw us, I mention your name, they go bye bye.
Well, I
If
feel the
so,
same way about you, though, Pete. I'm only half of the puzzle here. I mean, I can only do the software end and the technical end of it. But I'm not a sales guy. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm that whole world is foreign to me, and I definitely see you as an equal with the half that I cannot do, and it's absolutely necessary. So it's a great relationship that we have. We work together really well. We have a lot in common, and we talk anywhere from 1 to 20 times a day,
Right.
and I love it. It doesn't get old, it doesn't get boring. And it's always fresh, and I love talking about it. So, it's a great relationship.
Yep.
I'm having a blast.
No, no, it's great. I was going to say, because it leads into my question about, like, why TAOT, why you think it's going to be the next big thing, the biggest thing that, I don't know if we ever get 65,000% a jump in price, but I think because of what we've built, and I want you to really touch on what we have built here at TAOT, from the fundamentals of what from being on Coinbase to getting on Coin Market Cap, which is just mind blowing how you did that within like 24 hours. So I'm gonna
I've
let you
got I've
kind of.
got I've got some more stuff coming up too, but I don't want to talk about it yet.
Well,
Not yet.
I'm gonna let you show off and be that proud peacock, if you will, about what we're doing here at TOT and why
Sure.
people should be looking at us.
Well, I like the project itself mainly because it's not one particular party. It's hey everybody. We have to start putting America first. Everybody needs. We need to get a sense of. I hate that the word nationalism has become like taboo. Um, we all have to start caring about America. We have to start caring about this nation.
Yeah,
I mean, you can joke about. I see both sides, joking about it. Well, it's not really funny, guys. This is our country. This is America. This is where we live. And unless we all have plans to go somewhere, we should all take it pretty serious. We need to start coming together and giving a crap about it. And I think that's overall the messages. America first, America only. It's like, hey, we need to focus on right here, right now.
yeah,
And it's open for everybody, which is great. It doesn't, it's not one particular, it's not left, it's not right, it's not Democrats, it's not Republicans, it's anybody. And I think that's really important. I think because in cryptocurrency, especially with a project, you can't have polarizing views. You got to have everybody has to be a team.
right.
Um, like we were saying the other day in another meeting that we are in, when you're in a cryptocurrency, it's kind of your job also to help advertise it and spread the message,
Sure.
and it's a good one. It's not something embarrassing or silly. I mean, there's tokens out there with names that I'm not even going to say on the air.
Right.
And it's like you gonna go sit down and tell everybody about that. You
No.
gonna, you gonna
Right.
go to church on Sunday and tell your friends about that. You gonna go to dinner with your family and
You're
friends
in.
and tell them
Right.
about that. Of course not. But who's gonna start arguing with you if you say, hey, I think we should all start putting America first, guys? No one's gonna argue with you there. You know.
Yeah, I like what
Or,
it says
or
on the I like what it says on the Statue of Liberty. One of the quotes on the side of, give us your weak, give us your weary. Right, come to us,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's who we want. We want people that want to use America only as a vehicle to achieve financial success, to be a part of a community. Like, if you just want to hang out and learn cryptocurrency, come out and hang out with us. If you just want
yeah,
to be around a cool bunch of people that have a great vibe and energy, that all we think about is positive things, just come hang out with us.
yeah.
Even if you don't become a buyer of our coin and part of the community.
Yep.
But let's talk about the fundamentals, though. Let's talk about the importance of Coinbase, and certainly the importance of Coin Market Cap.
Um, well, as a lot of people know that are watching or maybe don't know, we launched really quickly on Coinbase. I think Coinbase is one of the best spots. Well, first of all, Coinbase is in America. It's one of the few American exchanges that's worldwide. It's one of the largest, but it's based in America, and I think that's important. The base network was also built by Americans in America, in San Francisco, which is, I think, is also kind of a fundamental
Amen.
piece of us. We have to support people. So many people are outsourcing work these days, especially in the tech industry. I see, people like me are honestly kind of far and few between in America, but they're training people like me in other countries, left and right. They're slowly building small armies of crypto developers in other countries. We need to start caring about America. And we need to start caring about American developers and American industry and American tech. Not a lot of people remember. NVIDIA is an American company. And, they make GPUs. They're leading the AI revolution. I mean, no matter what AI company is gonna lead the charge, NVIDIA is gonna be the backbone because they're providing the hardware. There's a lot of things in America that are great that we need to start supporting and sticking to more. Base is one. Base network is fantastic. It's basically Ethereum but cheaper, and it's just as fast. And then having us on Coinbase, people can get the token using debit cards, their checking account, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I think now that you can even trade stocks for it. I mean, it's fantastic.
You can make bets on games. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
everything.
They have the probability markets, the statistic markets.
Yeah. Well, that's
I've never been a big sports gambling fan, but I kind of like the probability gambling. I think it's kind of fun, you know.
well, yeah. We'll get into that another time. But which also makes this more of a utility token because at TAOT,
Yeah.
because we're on so many exchanges, you can use it for for products, goods, and services, like you just alluded
Yep.
to. But
Yep.
let's talk about the significance of coin market cap because in your experience, and
Yeah.
these are your words, you've
Yeah.
never seen a company get on coin market cap this quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. So there's probably about 10 different coin listers, but really 80% of the market share is coin market cap, and then you have about 19% of it is coin gecko, and then there's like 1% divided amongst these 10 other guys that nobody knows their names. Um, and CoinGecko is generally the easiest the easiest listing. I've had a relationship with them for a very long time. And CoinMarketCap I've had a long relationship with as well. They're owned by Binance, but they're much harder to get a hold of, just because they're so flooded with emails all day from projects kind of trying to get listed, and they charge a lot of money. But yeah, we did things a little bit different this time. Instead of going with CoinGecko, we went straight on CoinMarketCap, and this got us populating on all the major wallets like MetaMask and Trust and all these other websites. So the combination of being on CoinMarketCap and Coinbase is just fantastic. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. There's not many exchanges that are bigger than Coinbase, except for maybe Binance, which is based in another country, and CoinMarketCap is number one. They're at least 80% of the market share of coin listing services. So yeah, I mean we're already on the two big ones. We've got the best platform to grow from, right off the bat.
Yeah, we definitely have the quote unquote the perfect storm when it comes to cryptocurrency on
Absolutely.
Coinbase, on CoinMarketCap, on CoinGecko. We are monopolizing as much of the platforms that we can. I do want to ask you a question though about the I think it's the most incredible. Matter of fact, it is. It's the best one-stop shop for everything you need to know about TAOT, which is our website, www.buytaot.com, which
Yep.
Justin, yours truly designed. But how amazing is that website? Everything's on there.
I love it, man. Anytime I think of something, I add it to it. I've got a computer behind me that's ready to go. That's just it's got the website open on it, and I can just add stuff to it right away. So what I often try to do, and I've always tried to do this in crypto, and you do this too on our phone calls. I try to put myself in the mind of just a person that's like, what is crypto? I'm going to learn about crypto today. And what are the questions they're going to have? What's the process they're going to go through to obtain it or trade it or buy it or sell it or just learn about it? What are they going to do, and how can we make that process easier? So that's something that I think about all the time, and that's something that you think about all the time, which is great because sometimes I skip right past things, and you'll pick up something. You'll say, well, "What about when people do this?" And those are the important questions. Those are what teams that care about their people are supposed to do. You should always put your users first, and it's almost cliche at this point. It's like your customer comes first. Well, of course, and here at TAOT, I mean, we definitely live that. I mean, that's something that we do all day, and we're just constantly trying to think about how we can smooth the process out for people, how we can make it easier, how we can make TAOT more available. So we built, a swap on the site. I've added probably 10 different things that you can swap from into it. Of course, we have Coinbase where you can go straight from debit card into the token as
Yep.
well. But I've also been slowly building up the website for other tokens too. You can go from ETH, USDT, USDC. We try to add information.
Oh, guys, you have our social on there. You have our podcast. You have
Yeah,
where you can get it.
all the
You have
podcast
yeah,
episodes, all
it's
our
all the
social media
exchanges
links,
we're on. D
all the
Bank.
exchanges. Yep.
Yeah, It's
D
just
Bank's another one. All the wallets that we're on that you can use that you can store TAOT on. So yeah, I mean, it's just the goal is obviously to make it like a one-stop shop for anything that's related to us. And
yeah.
so far, I
And
think we're doing a great job.
no, it's phenomenal. You're on top of it. But I will tell you this: you said something that caught my attention, which is the customer is first, and that goes to that goes back to what you said in the beginning that you know America's built on Americans, and so
Right.
we are an American based company, and we have an American based customer service. We answer every text message, we answer every phone call, return every text message, answer every phone call. We
Yep.
provide training each day on how to download a wallet, how to get you started. And we want to listen, we're going after a specific market. We're going after the 93% of the world that doesn't own cryptocurrency. We're attracting big whales already. We've seen huge activity in terms of volume buys on our token already in the short period we've been up and running. I know you and we have plans for the next 2 to 3 to 5 years on what we're going to be doing and a lot who we're going to be aligning ourselves with. And so, the time now is for people that are watching this podcast is to get in now, obviously, because the earlier you get in, the better returns can be based on our growth. But if I was to meet you in an elevator, and you always have to have it in sales, you want to have that 30-second, 60-second elevator pitch. Why TAOT? Why TAOT?
It's got real people behind it. I mean, that's an easy one for me. Unfortunately, in this industry, you have a lot of predators that launch tokens with no faces, no names behind it, and their goal is to be gone within 3 to 4 days, not even a week. Their goal is to launch, get people to buy it, disappear. And as if anybody that knows, either one of us knows, we're not going anywhere. When we do something, we submerge ourselves into it, we get into it. I like to be neck deep in anything I'm doing, and I'm not satisfied if by just my toes are in it. I like to be submerged in what I work on, and that's the number one reason. I mean, it's got a real team and real people behind it. And not only that, but I mean, I'm not to brag, I'm one of the best developers out there in crypto. So I mean,
I love that.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love building it. It's my passion. I enjoy sitting down at the computer and working on things that are crypto related. Our first day, the website was just a simple web page. Within a few days, I turned it into an actual Web3 DApp where you can connect to it. And soon you'll be able to do even more things. I'm not going to talk
Yeah.
about it yet,
Listen.
but you got to stay tuned.
Yeah, well, listen, we want everyone to stay tuned. We are, and I want to just reiterate what you said. We put our face. We're probably. I think when it's looked back on, that America only will be the precedent of all tokens moving forward on how to conduct themselves on a professional business level, how to establish liquidity pools, how to communicate, how to build communities, how to be in the forefront and not hide, but be in front of everybody to get like we have calls just where we want to meet our people that are in our community that own our coin, own our token, I should say. So yeah, we're going to be the model, and we're going to lead by example, and we're going to be here to answer every questions that all the questions that people have and that want to be a part of our amazing community. So Justin, I also want to say thank you. And you are a legend in the space. Yeah, I love what you do. I love the fact that you and I are fathers of daughters, and we have goals for our company. We have goals for our families, and we have goals for everyone that becomes an owner of our token at TAOT, available on Coinbase. Folks, this is Justin Valo, my partner, my co-founder in TAOT, and we're super excited to have the opportunity to show and teach you what the cryptocurrency world has to offer you and your family.